Welcome to Blueprints and Bottom Lines. I am your host, Seely.
And I'm your co-host, Sixley.
This is a show where real business, real life, and real conversations meet. Every week, we break down the strategies, stories, and mindsets that help build a life with purpose and the bottom line to match.
Let's build.
Let's build.
All right. So we're going to start off with our word of the day. This week we have boundaries.
I like that.
Boundaries. Let's talk about it.
Something that I lack a lot of the time.
I think most of us kind of struggle with that. And what I've discovered is that having a lack of boundaries is actually devaluing yourself. And that means that you don't have self-worth. A lot of us grow up where this is not something that's common to be taught.
Right.
But as we are evolving humanity, we're discovering that these are some very important and fundamental things that we need.
I noticed the difference. We were talking about that earlier with our youngest. She has strong boundaries.
She has very strong
And
boundaries.
I think that has a lot to do with the programming. Like,
Programming.
my boundaries, I have a lack thereof.
And you're getting better.
I am. It's a quote that I actually love. Whatever you say yes to.
Yes, whatever you say yes to.
Whatever you say.
Yes to that you don't want to do. You're saying no to the things that you want to do.
That's it.
That's
That
the
was
one,
it.
right?
We cleared it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
But that's why we're a team. And it's very important that, as people that are evolving, we uphold these boundaries. I know based off of my birth chart, because, I'm into astrology.
Right.
I know that boundaries is actually like one of the themes of the things that I need to learn. I didn't have any. When you start changing, that turns into something that you're not digestible to everyone. A lot of people don't like it when you have boundaries. Like, our youngest told us a story earlier today, and she's telling me about some singer. She's watching this music video, and the music video is about a young girl who's growing up with a leash as a pet. And it's called Leashes, actually, the song. She's growing up with a leash as a pet, and
You're talking about the bloodsucker leeches?
yeah.
She has a leech
As a pet, as a child.
Okay.
It's crazy. And when she's feeding this leash, she feeds it her own blood. And they both get older. So one day it's time to feed the leash. And she gives it a blood cookie. And it gets mad because it doesn't want the cookie.
Oh,
It wants the blood entitlement. And then, that causes a lot of entitlement when you realize, like, hey, I actually don't want to do this anymore. I want to change the way my life is. But other people see it as, oh, well, you're changing, you're transforming. But a lot of the times they don't realize that you're taking away.
from yourself.
Like that meme that said, I looked at you to see how I can help you. And you looked at me to see how I can help you. We're
not the same. And, I'm definitely guilty of it. And I think a lot of it is my fault because I expect people to treat me how I treat them off bat. I immediately decide that everybody starts with 100 and they're just like me, and given the same opportunities, they'd respond in the same way. And I think 99% of the time I'm wrong. And I'm not saying everybody's bad. People were raised differently.
It's about finding that balance, because you don't want to be a person that is completely secluded to experiencing life and other people, but you also don't want to be the person that is constantly taken advantage of.
Right.
And you let people take advantage of you, and then you're mad.
And then you're
You're the bad guy.
Yeah, I recently had this issue with a close friend, a really close friend of mine. I let them use, I don't want them to think that I'm using this as an example, but I'm just going to keep out the exact item that it is. Use something of mine. Then they started to use it a little bit more than I would have used it. And then when I asked, hey, how you been doing with it? Like, I figured that there will be some type of profit that came from this. And they're like, no, I'm still building. There's no profit yet. One of my friends ends up calling me and telling me, yo, I just used your X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, wait.
No, everybody's using it.
Everybody is using it too. Like, it's lit and I'm not there. Anyway, so make a long story short, I had to put on my big boy pants and speak to my friend everything that I felt from the beginning.
Yeah.
As opposed to not allowing that, from having boundaries from the beginning. So now I'm the bad guy. Now I feel bad because I built this monster,
Right.
and then I had to slay the monster, and now I'm the monster.
Yeah.
So if I would have just built the boundaries from the get go, I would have been okay. 'Cause I didn't set any boundaries. I was like, yo, here you
Whatever
go.
you want.
I'm open, right? So I take responsibility
Yeah.
for that. That's my fault, and they're not the bad person. I feel like we both have a hand in this. I think that taught me a lot. I learned from that experience, and ever since I was a kid, I was like that.
Yeah.
I felt I was blessed. Like my
Mm-hmm.
mom, I was the only child, the only nephew, the only grandchild in the house. Yo, literally the Christmas tree,
Was all for you.
there was no names on the presents because
Every
everything was mine.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yo, I know.
I'd be lucky
yo,
if I got a present.
I had a Christmas tree where I would just go and rip everything up because everything was mine.
Yep.
I grew up in the project. I was no different than the other kids, but I knew I had a slight edge or a slight more of a blessing. I felt bad because of it. So
Yeah.
I had a thing for Jordans, for sneakers. So I would have every Jordan, every color. I was
Yeah.
never that kid. So when my friends would come over and say we were going to a party or we were going to school, I would let them come to my house. I would dress them in my clothes, the extra clothes,
I've done
and
that.
then we'd go out because
Yeah.
they didn't feel as fresh as I felt. I wouldn't want to go.
Yeah.
If you don't feel as fresh as I am,
We're not
just gonna
going.
chill. So I would do that, and then after a while, I stopped getting my stuff back.
Yep.
Like then, like they put creases
Yeah.
in my shit. And, it was just like,
It's-
and then I built that monster. So
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy when I tell them to take my stuff off or stuff.
Or- yeah.
It's really hard.
It really is. And then it's hard to like separate that. Like I had a similar instance where I had a friend and I lent her a whole outfit and a brand new pair of suede boots. We went out, they got dirty. I went over to get them and she was like, "Oh, no, no, I'll clean them." She never cleaned them. I never got my boots back. It's tough. And again, it's like these things that we have to unlearn because when we grow up, we're taught everybody is good, family is the best, and we're taught all these different things. But it's like I'm the kind of person that I've grown to believe that we create we create the family that we want to have.
Yeah.
It could be a complete stranger, and they would be considered more family than real family.
Yes, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is, how I felt like some parts of my family will be my family forever, and my favorite people in my family are no longer alive to me, and they're still breathing. It's hard to feel that, but boundaries as you grow up.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, it bothers me a lot that the friends I had from my childhood are no longer as close to me or no longer my
Yeah,
friends.
that does hurt.
It bothers because, and it's not, and I definitely don't feel it's my fault. I feel it's their fault for not growing up with me.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way. And
But it's not like they didn't grow up or something happened to them. They didn't
it
evolve.
didn't change.
They didn't want better. They didn't try
Like
to.
Jay-Z said, you think I worked this hard to stay the same? You think I worked this hard to
And you
stay-
shouldn't be the same person.
No,
Like
it's a
you
problem.
hear people, they brag, "I'm the same person. I've always been the same
Like,
person
day
since
one,
day."
day one.
If you're staying the same,
Bro, you're tripping.
you are absolutely missing out on the better opportunities of life. Like 100%. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not evolving. You're not changing. You're not moving forward. And you will never be successful.
I read something or watched something that every 7 years, on a cellular level,
Mm.
you are not the same human being.
Right.
On a cellular level, your blood vessels are different.
Every atom in your
So
body
how
has completely
can you
changed.
Fight to stay that person that you were when
Once.
you physically
Aren't that
aren't
person.
even that person. Like, not even a joke. Nothing is the same, and you're trying to be the person that you were. You can have glimpses of the solid individual you were, but if you're doing, talking, eating in the same manner that you were when you
Right.
were 12, it's crazy.
It is
to me.
crazy.
But trust, like when
And it used to be offensive because somebody used to be like, "Oh, you've changed so much." I used to get offended.
I'd be like, thank you,
Now it's like, "Oh my God, thank God."
right? 'Cause
Thank God
I
I've
was a
changed.
wild one.
Yeah, for real.
Yo,
it was
remember-
different.
We're speaking of my boy. Yo, remember when we went down to Orlando recently, and we were speaking of my boy Dre.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, you know, you're married to a psychopath.
He did say that. I did
Yo,
know a little bit, but sometimes I feel like I just get to know more about you.
I was wow. I
Yeah.
know because I still have, and I act like it's not me, but I have these out of body experiences, even when I'm trading, and I talk to myself, and most of my mentees that listen to me like, yo, Chris is talking to himself. We're about to get a play right now. So I used to be scared of talking to myself. Like I thought it was
Out
crazy.
loud.
I do it out loud.
You be talking to yourself out loud.
And I think it's talking to the realest person in the room.
That's what I say. Getting
Expert advice. So when I talk to myself, so I used to have these out of body experiences. Like when I was a kid, I would snap. I used to know it was me snap, and I would be like, "Yo, you snapping, my nigga." I'm saying you snapping,
and you just wouldn't stop.
and I wouldn't stop. I would actually laugh. Me and Dre were talking about that. I had a fight with the biggest kid in the school.
You just
Perfect.
snapped
I just snapped.
and lost it.
When I turned around, it was an entire crowd around me, and they're watching the show as I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm too deep.
Yeah. I call that like a blackout.
But I wasn't black. I was watching my
I used to black out. And all of a sudden they'd be like, why is everybody looking at me like this?
yo facts.
You got to uphold your boundaries because
Yes,
where
so
you're going
Yeah,
requires a different version of yourself.
absolutely. That's why you can't get to certain doors and levels without losing that old version of yourself. Snakes shed their skin. You shed, like I said, your body changes. You're supposed to do that, and continue to stay the same. You keep getting the same results. What's that statement? Continue to do the same thing and think you're gonna get different results.
That's the definition of insanity. Yeah.
So
I agree 100%.
that's it. So
Don't be insane.
don't be insane, man. Don't be like me. Don't be insane.
Don't be insane.
But like I think my insanity, well, my craziness, I've turned it into a superpower. When I notice it now, like one of my boys, Jay Breeze, when he sees me, he's like, "Yo, shut up, y'all. Chris is talking to himself." And then I just like, I used to stop, but now I'm like, I'm actually looking at something, and I'm like, yeah, this is this, and I'm talking, and I'm seeing it. I'm stepping outside my body, and it really ends up being the best answer.
Right.
It's crazy, but yeah, back to boundaries. Boundaries, yes, I did lack them. I now have so much boundaries that I don't even go nowhere. I don't, it's the price of peace. My peace is so important. It's like the most important thing to me. I think just being able to leave when I want, being able to do what I want. Like, it was weird because before meeting you, I was in relationship to relationship to relationship. I did not give myself any room to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just back to back. Then one time, like, I broke up with my ex, and I decided that I'm going to force myself to be single.
Mm.
And I forced myself to be single, right? For 2 years, I even gave it a
That's
time.
so crazy.
I forced myself to be single.
I mean, I didn't pick a timeline. It just happened to have been 2 years by the time I met
Really?
you. Yeah. I said, I'm just going to be single. Just gonna be single.
I forced myself. I was like, "Yo, bro, this is not working out." Like,
Yeah.
I forced and I remember it was pretty tough for me because I'm an only child, so I felt like I was always alone. Bunk beds as a kid. I was the only child.
Yeah.
Like, why? That's weird. Like, isn't that weird as hell? Like, so I found myself the first time I forced myself to go to the club by myself.
Yeah.
I went out. We called it clubbing.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Going clubbing.
I went clubbing by myself, right? And I was able to leave when I wanted. I didn't have to pay for nobody to get in. I didn't have to buy
Nobody
drinks.
drinks.
Like, I was able to, like,
You cut your expenses by like a third at least.
bro, I was
or,
like,
or
yo,
half,
this bill
more than
is
half.
facts. I got like a $30 bill, and I'm like, oh, we lit. I
Yeah.
always paid for my friends.
Yeah.
And I always had to wait for somebody to like do something, get ready.
Right.
I had to wait, or I had to speed up. Like, if
Yeah.
I wanted to stay and they wanted to leave, I got drunk or anything. But no,
Yeah.
so I found myself
Yeah.
being alone, I built boundaries where I was able to be alone, and then I met you. And when I met you, I was like, we both said we didn't want a boyfriend or girlfriend at the
Right.
time. So that's why it was so organic. That's what allowed us to really get a chance to meet. Like, it was pretty dope.
To
So,
get to know each other.
because we didn't have this, oh, I'm your man, or I'm expecting anything from you. I expected
Right.
nothing. We expected nothing from each other.
It just flowed.
It was dope. And I was like, yo, are we together? Like, we were just together
Yeah.
so much. I'm like, yo, now it's like, okay,
Oh
it's
man.
weird. Now it's just
So
weird.
many things happened.
Yeah, it was a
That
lot.
timeline was crazy.
Yeah, that was, how many years ago was that?
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Almost 20, I think.
Bananas.
Yeah, I think it's been 20 years now since we met.
20 years ago.
We got together like extra fast.
Yeah, it was. It was. Then it just like. Then it was like, oh, now we got a baby.
Yeah. Then Zoe came.
Then Zoe came. It was dope.
She's perfect.
But yeah, so yeah, man. So boundaries is definitely something in business you need to have. You need to be able to say no.
Yes.
Getting back to that, you need to be able to say no. No is such a powerful word, and no.
And a complete sentence, by the way.
That's a complete sentence.
No,
You need to
that's
no
it.
with no explanation at the end. Just be able to say no, and that's it. Like, hey, do you want to go here? No.
Nope.
No, no explanation. That's it.
That's
no.
it.
You could say no. No is such a powerful word because
And you'd be better off. I know that. I remember when I first started going out, mind you, I was super sheltered. My mom wouldn't even let me go to my backyard, let alone go anywhere. But I remember my sister having a conversation with me, and she'd be like, do what you're going to do by yourself. You don't need to be hanging out with anyone, because if something happens, they didn't go to any extent or extreme or anything. Like, if something happens, like you trip and fall on your face, no one is going to see it, and no one can go back and tell anyone what
That's a
happened.
fact.
And I was like, okay, I'm like, that makes no sense, but
do your
What?
thing while you're lonely.
yeah, by
Yeah.
yourself. I'm like, okay. So I never really was a clingy, let's be friends type of person, because I've always been very self-sufficient and,
Right.
you know, all about my own emotions. But I have had friendships where I had no boundaries. And now looking back, I needed to.
Yeah, same. Same. I definitely was like that. I always had somebody. My mom was like, you always got somebody in your room and always got somebody in your face. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't understand until later in life that was definitely not something that was something that I should have been doing. I should have absolutely have been, you know, spacing that out, because your energy is everything. Your energy and people's auras, people's karmic debt,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Will interfere with your
Yours.
energy.
It becomes yours. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever been around somebody that they are just super unlucky or super like had self pity, and then you?
Yeah.
That's why I don't even want people call me.
Well, I already told you I'm an energist.
Oh man.
And you know this, like, I can feel people's energy from a mile away. I will definitely not be talking to anyone that I feel whose energy is going to infringe upon my energy. And it's also something that, like, I protect at all costs. But more than anything, I feel like I could be very lenient when it comes to me. But when it comes to my family,
Yeah, that's when no. Yeah, I get it.
I will protect you against yourself.
All the time. I feel like you don't like none of my friends. Like, you don't like any of my friends.
I like your friends. I like Dre.
That's that's like, you like very few of my friends.
I do.
Like, and the thing is, and I get it now. Like, I'm like, okay, then when we end up not being cool, then I end up realizing why. Like, yo, she protects me from everyone, and I get it, and I appreciate that.
Because I see how people move and how they behave, and sometimes and oftentimes I see that they're only here to see what you can do for them,
Right.
and it doesn't matter who it is, friend, acquaintance,
Yeah.
foe,
Yeah.
family.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot. So, yeah, man, saying no to someone else allows you to say yes to yourself. And that also means that when you say no more, you can go back and change the answer to yes. You can go back to saying yes
After you think about it,
after you think about it, but say no first.
I used to say no all the time first, and you used to be like, "Why you always say no?"
Right?
I always
You
say
always
no.
say no first.
I
you
always say
because
no
you
first.
can change your no to me, but you can't change your yes,
Yes.
to a no,
That's true.
because then you'll be fake.
Correct.
Because if you like, yo, yes, and then you like, nah, I can't go. Now you're forced to go
Right.
because you said yes. So
Yeah. But if
definitely-
you say no and then just pop up,
then you, oh,
oh
yeah,
my God, yes.
yeah, I get that.
Like
And
you did
then-
my birthday party.
Right.
It made me tell you what I want for my birthday. I planned the whole thing out. I want this person, this person. I want to have it at this restaurant. I want it to be like this, like that. You were like, no. I was like, okay, fine. And then you surprised me. I don't like surprises, but that was the best surprise.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
I'm glad you were. I actually didn't believe I held it down that well, but when you
Yeah.
really act like you didn't know, that was pretty cool.
No, I really didn't know.
That's dope.
And it's crazy because you guys were talking about it and everything was happening in my face. But because you've already said no, I couldn't tell that.
So you see
What
how
was
powerful
happening?
no's are, guys?
Yeah.
Say no. Just
Say no more.
Just say no, like the old drug commercial.
Just say no.
Just say, I never got it. Now I get it.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
But yeah, no
But
is
yeah, if it
fine.
no, and the cost of your peace and not having boundaries is too expensive. It
Yeah,
costs
you
too
can
much.
always say, if you say no first, you always have the opportunity to change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad word. People look at it as a bad word, but just being able to say no without any explanation is so powerful. I can count on my hands how many times I've done that without explaining myself. Just always like, nah, because, but nah. But just
No.
saying no, yeah, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to look for some things to say no to today.
Yeah. What are you going to say no to this week? Let's see.
I'm not doing it.
I say no. I just stay in my bubble.
I think it is my lack of you're an energist. I'm an empath. I can feel people's energy immediately. If they start telling me things that I don't want to take on, when they give me a phone call, I get a phone call and start talking about their problems. It's not that I don't sympathize with them. It's just that I empathize. And empathize is I'm internally
Taking it on as your own.
that energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I don't, bro, I got the same problems.
Yeah.
Just don't tell you about it because there's nothing you can do about it.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Yo, so that's it. So, guys, the word of the day is boundaries. And boundaries, how you can fix that is using the most powerful word in the world. Just say no.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
I
You
hope
guys-
that you uphold your own boundaries.
Yeah.
And I hope that by doing so, you understand that it's for the greater good. And you're the greater person.
Right.
Yeah. You're the greater good. So it's
are
for
the
you.
greater good. So do it for yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See y'all next time, right?
Yes. Until next time. Thanks for
Okay,
tuning in.
see you next
to
week.
Blueprints,
And bottom lines
Bottom Line, and Boundaries.
and boundaries.